Hi there. Welcome to CryptoCube. In today's video, we are going to be talking about Solana and why this is different from other networks out there. It's strange that despite how popular Solana has grown, you can barely find a decent video out there that fully gives you an in-depth understanding of what it is and what it can do. I'll try to fix that today and break it all down into simple forms that you can easily understand. But before we move on to the video, if you're new here and haven't subscribed, please be sure to do so right now and also like this video. Stay till the end of the video and you'll definitely have a clearer picture of Solana. I might also give you some side notes on Solana if you're considering investing. Now let's get to business. At the time of this recording, Solana is sitting at 9th position on CoinMarketCap with a market capitalization of $15 billion. This goes to tell you that lots of people are buying into Solana. There are over 10,000 different cryptocurrencies currently in the world today, and more are being created. Some of these coins die just a few hours of their launch and some longer. One thing is clear in the crypto space, is if there's no real use case of the project or improvement that tend to solve a problem for the masses, then the coin won't last. Now let's talk about what Solana is and why it's ranked in the top 10 among all cryptocurrencies currently. What is Solana? So Solana is a blockchain that is open source with the primary aim of resolving the issue of scalability, and it does this through speed. Scalability in crypto just simply means the ability of a network to grow in size by being able to execute more transactions in a second without actually putting any of its other features at risk. So Solana has been able to achieve this speed. It can execute as many as 500 to 710,000 transactions per second. This is very massive. To give you a comparison so you get the picture, I'm going to use Bitcoin and Ethereum. Ethereum can run about 20 transactions in a second, while Bitcoin does about 4 transactions per second. Now you see the massive difference between Solana and Ethereum. This is why the price of gas fees is by far smaller than with Bitcoin and Ethereum. Solana is able to achieve this speed by implementing what is known as proof of history, and I will talk about this shortly. Solana was founded by Anatoly Yakovenko around mid-2017. After publishing the white paper describing a new way he had found to solve transaction speed using proof of history. He stated that from his own findings, the biggest problems Bitcoin and Ethereum faced in scaling their network was that the number of transactions done per second was very low, and they needed to fix that first. With the concept of proof of history, each transaction is stamped with a specific time of transaction. What that means is that every transaction holds a timestamp. This timestamp helps to know which transaction came first. This is an area Bitcoin and Ethereum found it difficult to get around. The disagreement in the order of transaction, the problem of what came first. Now, this is how proof of history works. With proof of history, every block on the Solana network carries a timestamp. It does this timestamping by making use of what is known as the verifiable delay function. For every transaction done on a blockchain, there is an extra security measure implemented. Each of them is hashed using a security hashing algorithm 256, aka SHA-256. So what this verifiable delay function does is to add a timestamp on each block, so that when it's to be processed, the timestamp will easily tell which transaction came first. So proof of history basically just adds a little signature to each transaction. This is the bottom line of the concept. This works because every person on the Solana network trusts the accuracy of Solana's timestamping. It's like asking Google what the time is in Jamaica right now. You trust Google to give you the correct answer. You don't doubt Google's time because of its reputation. This single unitary trust that the Solana community has for the accuracy of these timestamps is one major contrast between Solana and all other networks. With networks like Bitcoin, nodes have to verify the time from other nodes back and forth and back. They have to confirm the time properly for each block, and this process of confirmation actually slows down things. This is why they can only process so little per second. I'm going to give you a very easy to understand example to just smoothen things up with proof of history. So there are two companies, A and B, doing auditions for a job position. Carrying out these auditions in these different companies are 3 judges, A1, A2, A3 for company A, and 3 judges, B1, B2, B3 for company B. Now it's time for the audition, and the applicants are to stay on the line according to when they registered for it. Company A calls for the first person to come in, and he comes in with a paper that says number 1 with a stamp on it and tells them that the security guard at the gate gave it to him. The judges in A see that right away and are instantly convinced that he's number 1 because they trust the stamp on it to have only come from one credible source, the security guard at the gate. In Company B, the judges call for the first person to come in, but this time, no card with any stamp. He just thinks he's number 1 because he stood first in the line. "Sir, what's your name please?" The judge B1 asks. "Alright, B2, please can you check your list for me if you're supposed to be number 1? And B3, check yours too while I check mine." After much checking, Judges B finds out he's actually telling the truth. Now the difference between these two companies is that Judges A believe and trust the security guard at the gate to always be right, while Judges B has to first check within all judges to come to an agreement. Company A is Solana, Company B is Ethereum, and the judges are the nodes while the applicants are blocks of transactions. This idea of always checking to confirm from each other results in inefficiencies, and it's why Ethereum and Bitcoin can only process little transactions per second. Likewise, this also affects the price of transaction fees. How much you pay is dependent on how many transactions can occur in a second. If there are lots of blocks coming in frequently, and these blocks can hold a huge number of transactions, then the price you pay to get your transactions processed will be low, because what's the point in rushing to be in front when in no time it will be returned? This is why Ethereum and Bitcoin fees will always be high. Another major difference between Solana and other networks is the criteria for being a validator. A validator, simply put, is someone who verifies transaction on the chain for a reward, obviously. On other chains like Ethereum, to be a validator, you need to have staked 32 Ether, which at the point of this recording is roughly about $60,000. With Solana, it's not like that. There's basically no required minimum amount of Solana to have before you can be a validator. The only thing that is naturally required is that you have a very high-end PC to be able to run these transactions. You can find the specifications of the kind of computers to use on the website. They need to have a very high RAM, CPU, and the rest. While Ethereum has a large number of validators, Solana just has about 8,000 validators. Another difference about Solana is the programming language. Solana uses a low-level language called Rust, which is more powerful. And on the other hand, Ethereum uses a virtual machine type system to run its codes written in Solidity. The difference is that with Solana, it requires the developers to do more work. You have to code from scratch up, as you cannot just copy-paste your dApps into the networks like you can with Ethereum. But on the upside, these smart contracts are more powerful than that of Ethereum. Moving into the tokenomics of Solana, it has a circulating supply of over 290 million SOL with a maximum supply of 500 million. We see the price of SOL heading up simply because of its use case. Like Ethereum, Solana allows developers to build dApps on the network using SOL, a gas fee. This is one reason why the price keeps going up, and also because people believe in the project. If you want to invest in Solana, these are some things you might consider taking note of. Number 1. There is a max supply. This is something Ethereum doesn't have. If there is a max supply, it then means the total number of SOL is capped at the max supply number and won't ever exceed it. This gives you some peace of mind as you are sure that you are going to sleep tonight. You won't wake up seeing 1 billion new Solana coins in the market tomorrow. Number 2. It has a use case as smart contracts that can be built on their network. This means people will most likely have a need for the platform since it's super fast and you can deploy dApps on there. All of this helps to guide you in deciding what kind of projects to invest in. Remember, this is not financial advice, so please do your own research. These are just our thoughts. So, this brings us to the end of today's video. Please remember to like and subscribe and drop your comments down below. We love to see your comments and thoughts. Until then, I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.